Hey, welcome to another episode of Streezy Sports. And today I'm joined by Tools, Sihle and Onke. Mfwethu, how you guys doing?
Heat wave, Baba. Heat wave. That's how we do it.
Hey.
International break.
Hey,
Heat
Ziyabuya.
wave.
Ziyakhala.
Yeah. I know it is.
Fucking
Onke
fire.
is sweating his balls off, and we haven't even started the show.
I
Yeah, I
am
can
sweating
see.
buckets.
No, chance. I mean, of course, heat wave. On my end, it seems like there's a thunderstorm coming. So hopefully it can just cool it down. I hope it's not gonna hail because this hail destroyed a lot of cars. On the weekend, I was at my boy's place. His car destroyed.
I've seen so many cars like that on the road, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think
Apparently, driving in four-ways and mid-rent, you see
Hey.
plastics on people's cars.
yeah.
Exactly.
Abafana Baba cold drink are making a lot of But anyway, they make
Hey,
their
yeah.
killing.
Let's not talk about them.
Hey, they might come after us, bro. You know these guys are looking.
What 2 minutes in, that's Kima.
I
The stream might start lagging.
Yeah, dude, it might, dog. That's what I fear for mostly, dog. But yeah, Jets, I just want us to jump into it immediately. Let me just quickly share my screen. Please advise if you guys can see. At least this doesn't take as long as the teams, It appears immediately. But yeah, I wanted us to discuss this,
Why from Canada? Like I freaking hate
Why?
this. I hate this narrative. I honestly I hate it. So I
Talk to
watched.
us.
I don't know if you guys saw that video of these. I think it was a tournament in the hood, and then this football. I'm just gonna say this football. I'm not gonna give it a name. I'm not gonna say
Doesn't
it's
have a
Asida.
name,
No, I won't. But this football it's like literally not going anyway. And then in my comments, I normally don't read my comments, but in my comments, this is the real South African Kasi style. I'm like, no, but like gents, it's ayindao. It's like it's one place and you're rolling on the ball. If you wanna be fancy and whatnot, utate Uzain Musa. I don't know if you're too young to know who Zain Musa is.
I'm too young, dog. Yeah. I know who he is, but I didn't see him in his prime.
Play player. But if player could be a pambi with this style now, like ayindao. I think we need to get out of that mentality. No, we must be like Brazil. In Brazil, we've spoken countless times. Brazil is not the same. Brazil used to produce flair players. It's not the same. It's changed. It's evolving because now they want to dominate the world. And the only way that they can dominate the world is by evolving to where the game is going. Spain only like recently, like 2010. And recently, 2010. Tiki-taka then, but Tiki-taka has been found. So now they have to find other ways of playing. We have to evolve, guys, and move on from this thing. I hate this narrative with the foreign coaches. I don't know if you guys watched the game this weekend.
Yeah, I won't lie, I didn't watch it, dog.
I watched it. I watched the whole game. Finally. Though they can't kill opponents. That's one thing in that they gave the opponent a chance. 2-1 is it's actually 2-0 is a tricky score line because one goal comes in, you hand over momentum to the other team that is behind, and next thing, you end up losing the game 3-2. But I like this Bafana. What you say about Hugo and is he taking away? I don't think so. I like Siapambili. Please don't take us back.
Yeah. Okay, I see your face there, dog. Like, okay,
he's sweating that one. He's sweating because
do you perhaps have just wanted to hear your input, man, there.
I don't care about Bafana Bafana. I really don't. I am so disconnected from them as a brand. I just our football. Okay, for example, what Tukoza is talking about here, he's talking about the fact that South African coaches basically are not being empowered in order to establish an identity for our football, so that we can have a certain style of football going forward. But Ukoza is also part of the problem, because Ukoza hires foreign coaches. And if Ukoza is hiring foreign coaches and not liking the football his own team is playing with those foreign coaches, then what investment is he making in order to transform South African football and the football that his own team plays? It's useless sometimes to have these conversations where the people that make those decisions are the ones now crying as if they are victims. They're not victims. They are the problem themselves. John Committees was saying the same thing. Uti, it's costly. It would cost about 60 million to challenge Mamelodi Sundowns. PSL allowed Mamelodi Sundowns to be as powerful as they are over everyone else. And John Committees is on the NSL as well. They ensure they don't regulate the way clubs make money, how clubs get funding, and all of those machineries. So Sundowns is going to take liberties because they've got a billionaire in the back. They don't have a market. They are our Man City. They don't have a market. They can't generate proper revenue outside of winning trophies. They don't have fan revenue to generate. Their fans only go to stadiums when it's free tick, when it's a free game.
Entrance.
Yeah.
So where are they getting merchandise money? They are not. So it's one of those things when these people that have to transform our football are the ones now that are acting like they don't know what's wrong with it. Because they're saying, hey, our football, we've lost our identity. Then why were you not backing South African coaches? You could have easily done that. You could have been a pioneer in that space and ensured Guti, we continue to play in a style that speaks to how our players are brought up from ground roots level. And the biggest challenge here is there is no reforming these clubs now. These clubs are set in their way. It's too late to reform these clubs. They are set in their way, and these clubs are the ones that feed Bafana Bafana. If you ask me, Mina, Bafana Bafana should be coached by Manguba Mngiti. And Bafana Bafana should be selecting from Sundowns. Majority.
I think the main issue with our football is what you touch on about there's no link between the grassroots level and the professionals, you know. There's no clear route. If you're a young star really shining at high school, you know, there's nothing that's like a path for you to become professional or to make your way to wear your national colors, you know, unlike cricket and rugby, you know. And I think that's what the main issue with our football is, you know, besides who's really in charge. I mean, I think this thing all started when they sacked Clive, you know, and they started trying all of these things in, was it 98? Going to France. When we went to France in 98, that's where the real rot started, you know, and then we kind of really lost that. But guess what he said? He came in and he said South Africa needs to invest into its grassroots. That's the first thing he said.
Don't get dog.
Yeah, so it's these made in China headphones up his now. You deny it.
Tools, please continue, dog.
Yeah, like no, I'm just saying that, man. But that's where I feel like we lost it, and since then we've lost the style set. I mean, we did have players coming through. Abu Jabupule, who I believe probably one of the best wingers that we've produced, and he was playing Lepola Sitanda Ayotina, you know, which is kind of Ikasi football, but he was very, very direct, you know. And I think when people say we kind of lost our identity, I don't think they're talking about that thing where they're doing twirly whirlies on the field and they're not doing anything, you know. I think there is a blend when you're playing on a professional stage where you can use those skills and apply them in a system that works. You know. That is possible, and we've seen that with Jabu, like I said, and many others. I mean, or what's the pirate, those youngsters with Lebohang Mokoena. We've seen so many kids, bro. You know, we've seen so many kids play Kasi football, but they play it with intent, you know, and it's really nice to watch.
I think I fully agree with you on what you said, Uguti. There's no clear defined path. Right now, what we need to do is either break the system. I wish Umotise was here. Umotise raised a point that stuck with me when he spoke about what's that school at Transnet?
Yeah, School of Excellence. Yeah,
School of Excellence. Uguti, we don't have that. School of Excellence. When they interviewed, who did they interview? I can't remember who they interviewed. Talking about I can't remember who it was, but he had gone through the journey, School of Excellence. And Uti, so you start maybe like, this is standard 5, whatever, grade 8, whatever. Uti, you've got your ball. So in the morning, you get up, you eat. Get up, shower, eat, go to school. From school, Shaisa school at like 12:1. From school, go back, do your homework for whatever. I think it's an hour. I could be wrong with the timing. Then from then on, you have your trainer. So more via your trainer, you've got your own ball. You have to take care of that ball. It's literally you stick with that ball, thick and thin and whatnot. You play for 2 hours, and this is the best of the best in the land. Okay, you know what they say about it is steel sharpens steel, and we were very quick to give up on what's this School of Excellence. Right now, there isn't the reserve league, and there's another league also.
Ski challenge.
Yeah, multi-choice ski challenge. But by then it's a bit too late because a player that is 18 that can't trap a ball and you expect him to be a professional player, there's a bit of a disconnect there. And a winger that can't dribble, because we like dribbling wingers, but when you dribble, you're dribbling attackingly, as in we are going forward. A striker that can't chest and hold the ball, by then it's too late. Like once what's he 18 and he goes from the salute, they're stuck in their ways thinking, this is how football is played. And Musubatata, the Nubuhambisa we national side, because some of them do skip the path of under 21, under 23s, and Musumtatu Muhambisa, then there's a whole disconnect. What are you bringing? What options are you bringing the manager with these kind of players? You back in time, and this is like a couple of years back, Danon had a cup. They took these kids, Baba Bisa internationally, they get to see what other players are doing, Kuma tournament, at an age of 13. That's gone now. And it's not Ugutima Laiko, it's because of pure utter greed.
Of course. Of course. And that's part of the reasons why I feel like Onke feels the way he does. He knows very well what the issues are. I feel like we all know them, and I don't want us to, go over them and just speak on something that we all are aware of. Moguti, at the top, clearly there's some form of dysfunction. It's pretty much the Glazer family that's running Safa at this present.
But a political version of it. A political version. They've over-politicized the whole thing. And I mean, what is Danny Jordan's background? I mean, has he played? He
was a mayor, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Has he ever been a sports person?
Nah,
he's never been in sports. He's an ANC cadre who was given administration Yasafa.
Yeah.
Just for vibes.
We are fine. Namatendani, Bayafana Nabo Olifant. Bayafana.
Yeah. I remember Olifant.
Nah, dog. We've always had the talent to carry those old men.
Yeah.
What has happened is these old men have had to go back and reinvest in our football, and they have failed to do that. Instead, they were stuffing money into their own pockets.
Yeah.
Because that's the culture of the ANC. Our football by 1996, our football was well established. Even though we were in isolation,
up there
we
with
had a
the
style
best.
of football. We were quality in the continent. So by 98, us being at the World Cup, 2002 being in the World Cup, 2000 the Olympics, that was not a fluke. That was the quality of South African football, the quality of South African players. That was never built on. It was never built on. We never hit those highs again. After 2002.
Yeah. Brazil versus South Africa, Upepetu scored the winner. I think they were playing in Durban. That is, well, to me,
owned them.
Thank you. To me, that was peak Bafana. It never got better than that. You get the under 23s playing in Olympics against beating Amakluk beating Brazil. I think it was. I don't think I remember. It was a Sunday. I ditched church to watch that game because there was a time difference. I think they were in Australia. I could be wrong. So was around about 11.
It was Athens.
Was it? Yeah.
No. There was. In 2000 was Sydney. Athens was 04. Yeah,
there was
Sydney.
a time difference.
It was Sydney.
Yeah.
And Matthew Booth stood up, and Upeni was there. Quinton Fortune was there.
Yeah. Fortune. Yeah.
And then Daryl Buckley as well.
Not Daryl Buckley.
Yes. Daryl Buckley. Yes. And then you watch it being degraded, but more money being thrown at it, which is the scary part.
Because they're eating off the legacy of those players. Those players put South African football on the map. And then those players did not reap the benefits of it. And then as a result, they cannot sustain anything because this was not their own doing. This was this was the
I understand. Thank you.
Yes, it was evidenced by the fact Yoguti. After 2004 AFCON, South African football took the biggest dip ever because I remember the time Ghana 2006 World Cup. Ghana was just better than.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was me.
Okay, your Wi-Fi thing, it's cutting like bad, dog. We couldn't hear anything. Yeah.
No,
and you're about to drop James there.
Yeah. I think drop and come back in.
Yeah, but jump out and jump back in. Yeah.
Yeah. To Onke's point, you're not understanding from a grassroots level. When you go by administrator, you are cheating these kids of opportunities. I was watching a Cut Blanche the other day. They were running a story of this legacy fund. And the legacy fund that was created after 2010.
No.
So there was a legacy fund. One of the things that FIFA does whenever they bring the World Cup is but a fund. It's a the fund shouldn't really make money, but what the fund is there for is for grassroots level development and whatnot. And in my corner, it continuously finally they looted it. I think it was plus minus 500 mil. It's gone, and no one can account to eat the 500 mil. There's a story in Cut Blanche. I'll share it with you guys. You can watch it. It's and then the same people are going to come around and say, no, our flair is gone. Our flair is gone because you looted Imali that could build stadiums for these kids to train.
These kids.
Have clinics for these kids. This is how you drop a ball. This is how you release a ball. This is how you make it run. As a defender, this is how you position yourself. Your body is facing this way if if a striker is coming this way. There's none of that. It's all just vibes, rotating. What did you call it? Tools. What did you call it?
What did I say? I don't know.
Is that something to on the
Twirly
Sounds like an ice cream, dog. It's twirly.
So yes, there is a huge disconnect. A huge disconnect from like the under 13s up until you make national level. Bazamile nini revive under 21 with the Makusafa Cup and whatnot.
I mean, if you look at guys, or Lampard, or Stevie G, or Rooney, those guys aren't particularly talented. you know.
No, man.
They just knew the basics very, very, very well. You can see these guys have been trained how to trap, how to lob, how to switch play, how to shoot from 5, 6 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And our kids, they have like natural talent, similar to Brazilians. You can say in Jalo, you know.
But it's not being harnessed. The talent is not being harnessed.
Exactly.
Tools. Let me give you a simple example. Ne? There are players who are not talented, but they are competent. And their confidence comes from the competence. I always say Scott McTominay is not a bad player. He's not a bad player. He's a competent footballer who understands the basics of what he needs to do. So he will work hard. You will never get a game where Scott is not trying, you know, because it's not about talent for him. So a talented player will have that game where you don't see him. Your Mesut Ozil, your Cristiano Ronaldo, the talented players. A game can end. You're like, I actually never saw what this guy did.
I didn't see anything
because usually when you see something from him, it shines. It looks better than any other footballer on the pitch. So when he's not doing that, it just looks like he didn't do anything. Whereas with Scott, if Scott put in a shift, if Conor Gallagher puts in a shift, you're like, hey, he played well. That's not the standard we use to judge every footballer. We don't judge Bruno Fernandes based on his work rate. Hey, Bruno Begafuguza today. No, we want Bruno to create. So the standards are different because there are players you judge on talent, there are players you judge on competence. Scott, competent. Conor Gallagher, competent. There are many players who are competent players. A lot of English players.
Henderson, I don't rate him. But
he's a competent footballer.
Yeah.
Milner played until he was 90 and he was competent.
Yeah.
Competent. Our players can't create that distinction. We have a lot of players in South Africa who are competent, who just need the work rate, competence, and then for them to get used to doing these things in a competent manner, then it's going to be easier for that to translate. Because you can create consistency if you're competent. And then you have your talented players, Abomshishi, Abomshini, Abo Penten. Those players are the ones that are just a tier above. Those ones, they have to couple their skill set with your work rate. Then they can challenge for the world-class jobs in the world. They can play in any other country. Abo Pesitao. Because those players have that natural thing, that magic, that sprinkle. We have failed to harness these things in this country. We have failed. And it's not difficult at all. I always,
what's happening now?
Say to people who
Okay. Yeah. I didn't
Am I back?
Oh yeah, you're back, yeah.
It's gone.
You're frozen.
Yeah, who's you saying?
I'm saying if you look at, I'm gonna move off now the sports and go to entertainment. You know, you look at a guy like Hugh Masekela, which just passed away recently. You know, you've got absolute losers as ministers of arts and culture and stuff like that. Where people like Hugh Masekela wasn't able to contribute. You know, now you look at Danny Jordan, Natim Tuetwa, and those guys. You've got Lucas Radebe, bro, sitting on the sidelines, not contributing. You know, somebody who they were to stand up and talk for South Africa on the international stage, everybody would listen. You know what I mean?
Uru has a good reputation. It leads to this day, where he is
to this day.
thoroughly respected. Uru, corporate South Africa respects him, and I'm not gonna lie, Jay. Corporate South Africa.
Imagine that guy flying our flag instead of Danny Jordan.
Well, Natim Tet, flag, and it's you speak of a flag that you can see from 25 kilometers.
Is that he's been through the system. He knows where the system is lacking. He knows what the players are struggling with on the ground. You know what I mean? And what it takes to make it at the highest level as well. You know what I mean? And you got like absolute political appointments there.
Yeah, but
with nothing to offer.
Dr. Khumalo, why is he not involved in ISAFA? Brian Baloyi, why is he not involved? Brian Baloyi, he played the longest time and top tier. from Chiefs, White Lula, with Sundowns, he understands from an early childhood duty. This is what it takes for you to be a top-tier goalkeeper.
Yeah, I don't need it.
We've got people that have properly messed this thing up for us, and now I don't even recognize Ibafana. You're not gonna recognize Ibafana because you didn't do anything for Ibafana. And I'll say this again. Ibafana Bidlala weekend, I enjoyed it. Bro, as I said, but I enjoyed it. It was you could watch.
I saw a stat sometime over this weekend saying Hugo Broos hasn't lost in 12 games. Yeah. It's something like 7 wins and 5 draws. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. I think it's true.
Excuse me?
I think it's 2 years.
2 years and no losses.
Yeah.
The guy's clearly busy cooking something, bro, you know?
And he's not being supported. That's another
thing. He's showing now with the local coaches want to fight him because they say he plays football that they don't understand, of which I find very, very unfair. I think his bosses need to come to the party now. And particularly the local guys, we've made a decision. This is our guy for AFCON. This is our guy for the World Cup. Support him. If you're patriotic about it, support him. If you're not, then move out of the way.
I saw an interview of him.
They're just quiet.
Yeah,
I saw an interview of him talking about the culture up in Mzansi, you know, and he's saying, I think he coached in Cameroon or some other African country.
Yeah, he won.
And when he says he wants to meet the coaches of all the clubs, the very next day, those guys are in a boardroom somewhere and they sit down and discuss issues. You know what I mean? He said he's tried 4 times since he's been in Mzansi. And all 4 times it's failed.
Yeah.
All 4 times it's failed. And he doesn't blame the coaches directly. He's just saying the way the system is all set up, you know, it's difficult for any cohesion to take place, you know?
Yeah. But at the same time, I just wanted to add that you can, it also goes down to the leniency. I just feel like in Cameroon, the Cameroon FA would lose its shit if you were a coach and if Hugo brought what I can draw was to, you know, call everyone up and have a meeting with them. There'd be consequences most probably in that region.
Well, in 2 years he hasn't lost. In 2 years he hasn't lost a game. But the respect that he's showing, because Hugo, let's not beat around the bush. He's not an angel. He speaks his mind. I think the arrogance that he has, the arrogance it's an earned arrogance. But for him to like schedule this car to go to Jens as the local coaches, because you bring out the players that I need to pick from the pool. So let's meet up and discuss, Guti, this is my vision for the club. And that can't happen 4 times. Jens, no.
Guys need to start getting fined now, because really, this is bigger than PSL. This is, of course, them representing our country. They're representing each and every one of us. And so for there to be so much leniency and leeway for clubs to do as they please.
The guys at the top don't even know how much bread costs. Yeah. So they don't understand the pride of the nation is at stake.
Yeah, I know, no doubt, Jets. Yeah, I wanted us to segue, guys. I mean, we've been talking about this for like the last 2 days.
And this is one that's not going to change either.
Yeah, I know. This one.
This is Scottiza. Even the next World Cup is past.
Exactly.
We will still have the same conversation.
I know, 100%. But at the end of the day, moral of the story is the institution itself that is rotten. That's affecting.
Very, very true. I can't remember who said. The citizens get the government that they deserve.
Yeah, and as well, I was also speaking to my dad about Saru and Safa. He's like, bruh, Saru is Sensitivians, elite. You know what I mean? Safa, iskela saselokini ntanga. Where am a window? Moshegile. So that was his analogy.
I think Isafa is that beautiful new school that has been built, but that's the worst of the worst in teachers and in the principal Bamfag. Someone who doesn't understand that the painting that is on the wall, it costs this much. So I was good if the painting gets scratched, we've got a fund that we can just buy more paint. So he doesn't appreciate what the school means.
100%. Okay, that was the best analogy. Thank you, Sishe. Now that one.
Oh, if Meng Sandile, I drop gems.
I know you do. Hey, cheese, you good, dog? Awubulisa uvelungene nje awubingeleli.
Easy machetha. Phela bengisakhuluma nazi le topic yeni le. Iyangikwatisa phela so.
Ufuna ungena mzala.
You don't like. All right, let's move on to your topics because you're the one that posted this on the group with regards to the injuries that have, of course, taken place. Yeah, dog. Like, hey, guys, a lot of teams are suffering this season, and not just only in the EPL, even the Madrid.
Yeah. And if you check, the reason, and I remember speaking about this very early this season, which this year we're gonna have a big problem on the injury because there's no way you can sustain. Most of the time, after a World Cup, you have all of these games coming in thick and fast. Everyone trying to match up to the calendar, and especially because the World Cup in the previous World Cup was in a different time period. So between all of that, and of course the new rules of more minutes of the game for stupid things like ball out, and then you have to add another 10 minutes in the game. And I called it, and I said it in I think it was the Arsenal game when we were playing in the Community Shield. I was like, there's no way players can be able to do this for the whole season. And that was the first game of the season. And I think you could see, Kevin, you guys are playing this football at 120 kilometers per hour every single game. You're flying across Europe regularly, bus trips, and they train almost every day. I just want to lead to this environment. Now, I think West Ham actually have one person who's injured. Actually, they announced it today because I was looking at the news. Antonio's injured, so every team is affected.
I think we all saw this one coming. The only people that didn't see are the administrators of the football. And the weird part is, I think the ACL, I started knowing about the ACL probably you'd have like one player a season. And this is across Europe. That's when the ACL injury, but once but the ACL injury, it doesn't matter which time of the year it is, that player's season is done for. But now, I'm seeing across Europe, you're talking 10 players about getting an ACL. Who's the Madrid keeper? He's out. Courtois is out with the ACL. Gavi this weekend in Spain. Now ACL gone.
Ugavi he ruptured the meniscus in his knee.
Is it?
And there's a picture actually. I'll share it now. So you
where
can
he's
share
standing.
Please. So you just need to look at how many minutes this kid has actually played for Spain and Barcelona in these past few seasons. And no way.
Didn't he play also with Olympic last? Was it Olympic or was it I think it was the Olympics where he featured for Spain. After Spain finished the league, went to the tournament, the Olympic tournament, played every game there, and then came back to the league. From the league, I think he then featured in the World Cup squad.
One coach and Pedri had the same problem. Look at that. That's almost 8,000 minutes, bro. This guy is still 17 or 18.
He's a teenager.
But you see, you need to be managing into his guns. This guy, if he keeps playing this many games, he won't make it to longevity about Ronaldo. No way.
He won't get to the peak age.
These guys need to be managed.
26, 27.
Hey. And Abu Dhabi, they need to peak, guys. Like you need to peak playing. This guy's playing too many minutes. He's not even getting a chance to rest and learn from his mistakes. Every game he's back at it. And it's easy for him. Guys like this, Abu Hazard, I could be carrying Abu 29 to 8 because suffering from serious injury.
Yeah, I mean, like for instance, such an injury is not common for a youngster. It's usually players who are seasoned who have such injuries. Even when you look at Atsu Fati and I also experienced a serious injury when he was a teenager, and that really derailed him. Because look now, Brighton, and I'm not saying Brighton are a small club, but in comparison to Barcelona, I mean,
any trajectory when he was starting to pick up a Barcelona, everyone saw him. I think he took the number 10 jersey.
Yeah, number 10.
Yeah, but look at now, even the Ghana Yamal. Yamal now himself. I hope Xavi manages that kid well, because he's only 16. Yamal is only 16.
We spoke about this. We spoke about this, Uguti. My injuries on these players, they chip away at the talent, because you question your body. You can't push your body to the limits that you used to be able to push it, because you always leave room. No, what if, and that question is the difference between you being your old self and you being your new self, who's not as good as the previous self. I don't know if that makes sense.
I get what you mean.
I mean, if you look at his schedule, Man United last year, I think Bruno Fernandes played the most minutes out of everyone in European football. All his minutes combined. And I remember Mourinho complaining about the schedule of the players, but at the time while he was at United, and since then the thing has just gotten worse and worse and worse. Like you said, when I choose this World Cup that was brought in the middle of December threw a real spanner in the works, and like, I mean, you're dealing with this cattle, bro, and there's only so much you can get out of it, and you're adding more and more competition. And you're destined to burn these boys out, especially at the level that we expect these guys to perform.
And have you noticed my international breaks? My international breaks with Bayanjan. We just had an international break yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Vinicius suffered an injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 100%. I think.
Kamavinga. It looks like it's a proper injury now.
He's out. And I think before Jude Bellingham wasn't he also injured? But Jude also has a bit of a niggle. But it's eventually, I mean, the players have come out and said it's early in the season, and this greed, and I believe it's greed. It's just all about revenue. It's all about trying to keep everyone's pockets fat during the year. And eventually, we're going to be watching Ama playing under 17, playing in first teams, because
look,
there's no way we can sustain a squad as big as Chelsea, as Man City for a long time unless you have one. And then those teams will obviously go out tops. The situation at Bruno was very difficult because your best player, he has to play. We were struggling, we wanted to get results, we still wanted to work, so he had to play. If he's 60%-ish, Jimmy Wednesday, massage, but we need Nazar on the sun. And that's how they Barcelona managed to miss. It's what they are team. There were days for 2 or 3 days in the week they didn't change. I figure massage in the parlor, everyone else is training outside. And it's eventually going to come to that point too. So we're lucky enough, we're not feeling the pinch too much for Kevin. But at some point in the season, in the really crucial parts of the season, if you don't have your best players, you're not gonna do anything.
And that's the difference between a top 4 finish and a top 10 finish. And imale lapho, imale baya.
100%.
And to be fair, Ansu, I know sorry, man. Ansu Fati is a very good point. Because after he picked up the injury, when he came back, it was never the same.
It's never the same, dude. Because I mean, think about it, guys. I think psychologically as well, it also plays into a player. Oh, load shedding, by the way, gents. Don't stress. We got to.
You don't say.
I'm prepared.
He has got backup power.
Yeah, I got backup.
I thought you were being romantic.
Yeah. But anyway, just to add as well. I mean, I lost my trail of thoughts. Actually, flip.
Yeah, it's going to get to a point on managing talent, because the more these administrators are putting a tournament and the more strain becomes on our players and the teams, and there has to be a balance. We do want to be entertained, but when we are entertained, let the best of the best entertain us. Don't sacrifice their ability to be, well, not relaxed, but to have time to recover from game to game. Because I haven't seen the calendar Christmas, EPL, but I know for a fact.
But a question on my side, and I'll ask you first, Uguti. Is it then now not the most important thing now is that managers need to be able to manage their squad?
I think that's the thing when I'm fit, because as much as these guys are being worked very hard, they're being paid really well. You know what I mean? They need to be performing. I think, at the end of the day, if you look at it, bro, these guys are walking away with money in a year that 10 of us wouldn't see in our lifetimes. You know what I mean? So they need to be performing. But I mean, like you say, these guys have 25, 23-man squads. What is it? And they can also tap in. They can also tap into the youth when they need to. So I think that's what's going to shine through. How managers can manage their players and be able to rotate while keeping a level high. And that's where your guys, your Mourinho's, they fail, because they want, like, the first class players playing all the time. They don't really like to bring it through youth and stuff like that. So a manager is going to need to be really, really versatile, because the guys who are running football, they're interested in money, and they're going to try and squeeze as many more tournaments as they can squeeze on. I mean, there's somebody sitting around a table now trying to figure out how they can wangle, some tournament and introduce something that can make them more money. You know what I mean? And
about Super League.
Exactly. Super Leagues and those kind of things.
You speak of Mourinho, and Mourinho was not one for rotation. I remember his first stint at Chelsea, he had the least amount of substitutions in and I think was his first season or his second season when he won the league, but he had the least amount of players used from the bench.
Yeah. Another thing is as well, guys, I also think of I think of the leagues as well. I think if you are playing in the Premier League teams usually play the most games because there's more fixtures and there's the Carabao Cup. Whereas when you look at La Liga and in Italy, they just only have the Coppa Italia and King's Cup, respectfully. So from a fixture standpoint, even in December, you'll notice that La Liga and Italy, they don't play as many fixtures as especially Germany. Germany, 18 Germany. PSL Germany. So there's not a lot of fixtures. And so I also think players in the future might even start considering, of course, once they've established themselves, they might choose to move away from England, in the sense that they know they don't have to play so many fixtures. And of course, also being with family, that's also very key for some players, to spend as much time with family. And I mean, if you're playing in Germany, you don't play as many fixtures. Harry Kane made a good move for himself personally. I'm not saying he's gonna win like the Champions League there, but at least he doesn't play as many fixtures anymore, because England guys,
I think what Tools mentioned it. The amount of money that's being, I wouldn't say thrown, but these boys are being rewarded with is quite a bit of money. Like an average player is on a 200K per week salary.
Yeah,
that's
okay. No Tools need to see the one lower. They must work for that money.
Yeah.
Oh, John.
That's exactly what we say.
You're gonna get people coming for us. I never said that. I'm balancing the scale. I'm like, there has to be a balance in managing the amount of games that we play, and also subsidizing this 200K per week salary these players are getting. Because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
It only lasts for so long, yeah.
And another thing is, guys, we also look at inflation. You know, as time progresses,
it's 100K.
Eventually, it's gonna reach $1 billion. Where a player starts getting $1 billion. Eventually, you see it in the NBA. In the NBA, guys are now signing $350 million.
I think the billion player that's coming up is Mbappe coming to the EPL. If you were to come to EPL, billion player.
Even the Saudi player, that's the Saudi money, most. They offering players that kind of money.
I think Liangi understand how is it from the government? Is it from the Ministry of Tourism and Sport? Because it's just crazy money. Some of the salaries they're giving away.
But for me, again, sports is especially this level of sports, and that's why being involved with it. You should have but it's to be honest, Mfana, these guys are training twice as probably in Europe. They're two sessions a day. Let's go in the gym. These guys probably sleep early and stuff. They don't drink. Well, most of them don't drink.
They don't smoke,
of course, but they don't. And they don't do all of these things because they want to look after their bodies, right? Because for them, that's how you make your money. But at the end of the day, it's such a small thing. It is you are humble hater. Utoli cuts, man. Utoli cuts, bislala. That's cussing. You say I'm a hate utoli cuts. You have an abrasion. You're out concussion 2 weeks. You come back. You have to pick up the rhythm again. Because you've been out for quite some time, and that just takes a toll on the body as well. Even regardless, of matches, just the amount of training and preparation and mental. Now my player which is as well goalkeeper who's cited that he has mental health issues, goalkeeper issues 21. And then those sort of things are happening a lot now.
Who's the Bendy striker?
Thingy.
Yeah.
Frostler,
So,
and even guys, even injuries, dog. Once you suffer, especially a bad injury, look at I'll use Luke Shaw as an example. Luke Shaw, I think he broke his leg at the age of 19. And ever since he
was coming nice at the time.
And have you noticed how he backs away from 50-50 challenges now? Because flashback of that time where he broke his leg, and so that's the reason why at times he
hesitant.
He's very hesitant, right? Yeah, you're right, Tuesday. And I don't
we also lost to Hazard in front. We lost to Hazard in front. And I think that Real Madrid Hazard move was meant to be big. We were all expecting to see him come out of his shell and go do something at a bigger club.
Yeah.
And then that injury happened, and it was never the same ever again.
Another player that interests me in my injuries, Dembele.
Yeah.
I know.
I thought that boy was fragile. I thought maybe funny like the papa, but hey, that boy, he would a whole season under 3 games.
Dude. And
you got your Eric Bailly's. You got your Eric Bailly's as well. You got some guys.
Eric Bailly was another one.
Uyambona uDembele uthi akalithandi ibhola just ukuthi uyalazi. That guy doesn't love it.
Because dude, Dembele shouldn't be a world beater, dog. Dude, this guy is
Dembele is really good, Ndana. He's really good. For me, I thought he was going to be better than Mbappe. I mean, he's 2-footed. He's probably quicker. He's got much more skill, and one of his skills it's that natural skill. I like Mbappe, Ronaldo,
the Dortmund Dembele is no more, Jin. The Dortmund Dembele is no more.
Because that
Dembele just wants enough money so that they don't have to go work for the rest of their lives. And then it just meant Gucci had to go play soccer. Hey.
Because I watch him Champions League. It's not the same. He has moments but like it's not the same way. A defender knows Gucci is Ospana. Like he's
he still hasn't scored, no? He still hasn't scored for PSG. I don't think he scored for PSG. I have no idea.
He scored for France though during the 14-0 win.
I think we actually hold on.
No, Sihle bengakora nalezia.
When you don't push another.
Nabonga shale zana Sihle if bakufakile now abonge kuhle.
And Mamela James, we need to have this chat about the tournaments not the tournament, but the run in to the World Cup or to the Euros that European countries have. They have it easy. They have it way too easy. England did that in Malta. In Malta, in North Macedonia. I didn't even know there was a South
countries we've never heard of.
Yeah, countries you've never heard of. About Andorra, like
Lithuania, Liechtenstein,
Cyprus. And then England it gets motivated too hard because they top the league when they go to a major tournament. Maybe feel major tournament, but
during the headlights.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's coming home, boys.
They find a Colombia, they find a Uruguay, you see South America is where it's at. You see South America.
If you qualify,
when you meet those teams, it's a fight, Baba. It's a fight from the first minute.
Even Nebafan and Tanga, South American opposition. I remember when we played against Chile and no Sanchez Begasa saying to Alexis Sanchez. Yes, that's Lucas Twalabanga Samienzan. Yes, like it. It was bad, dog. It was bad.
Like, if you make the qualifications group and you're from South America, you must know what Uspani there. Because I think the USA and whatnot are Ilula, Canada, and then I think they try to mix them with the New Zealand, the oceanic sides. That's easy.
South America is where the heat's at.
Who watches, dog? We only watch Euro and Copa America. CAF. Ingoni CAF footy compared to Asia Cup or whatever they have in CONCACAF. For me, I do. From a competition standpoint, there's too much of a gap, bro. That's why South America, Ecuador, Caicedo. Hey, Balkans are easy, dog.
I don't think there's any South American country. I don't think there's a South American country they can safely say Guti, unless they host Guti Abona, they are going to the World Cup. Because it's always tough for them.
I think if all the South American teams were to play in the Euros, they'd all qualify.
Yeah. Yes. Facts. Even Venezuela, dog.
Yeah.
Even
all of them would qualify.
Dude, these teams are tough.
Those guys know how to win. Those guys know how to grind wins, Baba. Not the nonsense. You're a team like Lithuania, but you want to go toe-to-toe with England, and then you lose 15-0. And it's like, it's Lithuania. They are equal at the game. Not that Brazil, Venezuela, Baba. The stadium is packed, Baba. He passed the Brazil 5 kilometers from there. Walk. He was the stadium. It's rough. It's not an environment about Rashford, one that.
Yeah.
I was
waiting for a Man United shot.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
South America, all these teams from South America would qualify if they were based in Europe, because Europe, some countries there, man, Luxembourg, Luxembourg. It's a small country to like.
And I'm making that example too because Pela, your team, when a team has looked a lot in the youth, yes, South America, moving away to Pelestri, Garnacho from there. So
and they've been pretty decent. I think they just need more sight. I think they've been pretty decent, those two boys.
Who X didn't tell you, but he had a confession. Garnacho doesn't look South American. He doesn't have that South Americanness.
Remember what I told you, Tolano Uti. Every player that goes to your team does not improve.
Yeah.
Like we are more national players. If they were at any other team, well, not any other team, but if they were at teams that actually help players develop and hone in their skills, they'd be very important players for those sort of clubs. I mean, exposure. We're speaking about exposing these players too young, and then Matulama injured. But guys like that just need an arm. Someone's going to take care of them. About nature to give them more skills, make them improve. My player Manchester improve. Marshall, you saw Marshall.
What's the next year? What's the next Henry? Hey, if only they knew. They could know Henry Ford is useless. I'm at the point.
Baba.
Yeah, but he gave us the 5-day week. He gave us the 5-day working week. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
The fact that the guy had a Ballon d'Or clause in his contract, that's how much that guy was. His trajectory, not missing more when you first came on. Was it?
It feels good. It feels good being a Chelsea fan right now. Which I can actually contribute because last season I want to make talent and whatnot. I couldn't contribute because it was non-existent. But like now, I can add my 2 cents and I can make fun of Rashford. I can make fun of who else at Man United. I can make fun of Bruno. Bruno always, he's your savior.
But, you know how many clubs you can make fun of, bro? Why you say like Man United? There's 19 there's like 18 other clubs you can pick from.
It's a low-hanging fruit. It's a low-hanging fruit.
We low hanging, but you are even lower than us.
You're lower.
But this is not. This is. I don't blame X and twos. I don't blame you guys. It's Man City's fault. Man City, it ran for 4 lava. Was celebrated in a sakwata. Mangaboni keepers a Chelsea fan. You can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere, man. You're gonna skip it. Yeah, but who's the time to win it or because I'm saying for sure. What happened?
I agree with you, Cheese, on that. They're coming out of the woodwork now. But it's not even about the Man City game. Man City game, and I was in between. I was comfortable with taking a draw. And yeah, you said draw beginning of the game. I would have been thinking, take it. But the way that we played showed the progress. If our balloon boy comes back because after the international break, but not in time. There's a question mark around the Newcastle game. So in Newcastle, now they're going through their own struggles. So if I'm actually throwing in a Newcastle, I'll be comfortable because I think there was an episode where we spoke about Chelsea's next 10 games and say keepers on 10 games. So if thing is if we survive these games, we're on the way up. And right now,
look, you don't count the Man United game, wasn't it? You guys said you don't count the Man United game.
No. Wait. When are we playing you guys?
I think you play Newcastle then United. And I remember we would on the chat one of these days, Nibali teams and you guys were saying, you know,
Bali, Man
yeah,
United.
no, I say
And that's
Bali
what
Man U, but we're playing
that's
Newcastle, we're playing him, we're playing it.
No, hold on.
You remember this, ne? You got receipts for this.
Hold on.
And then
I told him, I told him, Fanawati, don't Pochettino in your mouth. Against big teams, he loves teams who come at him and want to play. He loves it, because he sets his teams up for that. So you guys you're always going to be at that. But look at all your results against the big six, or I won't say big six because they haven't played United yet, but the big teams so far this season. You've got good results.
Liverpool
Arsenal
win against you, draw.
Arsenal draw. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Arsenal.
So you guys have been getting, and you've been getting results, and that fine. It wasn't great conceding. I mean, you concede 4, you concede 2, and then you concede again. It's not great the fact that you're conceding, but when you guys come up against the small teams, you guys have to grind out results because you're not a team that's playing. And teams who are sitting with a low block aren't giving you space to run in behind.
So, I mean, what I was talking about, Nkunku coming in. When that attacking impetus, they say Dinga, that striker or that attacker, say Dinga in our team. And once you add him, and if he's fit enough to play in Newcastle, then he's definitely going to start against Man United.
One.
The French players are network here, Comanche. Balloon. The French Nkunku player, man. Is my
Nkunku. But Nkunku is no different to a Sterling or a Modric. He's also a player who likes to get in behind. He's not a playmaker. Nkunku. He's the second striker.
Where is Zimbabwe?
Yeah, that's fine. Remember, but what I'm saying to you is against a low block with no space behind or little space behind, you guys struggle to create those sort of chances to win those sort of games, which is why you are where you are in the league right now.
We're on the app. That's all I know. That's all I care about. You're not going to fizzle my fire. Oh, sorry, my Konyana flame. I'm number 13, but I'm happy as hell. And I'm just looking forward to the next coming game.
But
it's no short fun. It's just
Chelsea are 10th right now, and this is not even their worst season in the last 5 years.
I don't care.
Rating to throw shots at Man United. It's really fascinating.
I'm just collecting my receipt right now. Bring it. Who are you playing next?
I'm not sure. Who do we have next?
Let's see. I'll tell you now.
I wouldn't consider these teams
you play Everton.
We will struggle against good-table teams, not small teams. Okay, thank you, Sway. So Man United, not to see mid-table. Shoot, you guys are gonna struggle then.
So yeah, you playing Everton, and Everton has been deducted 10 points.
Yeah,
they're gonna be in a bad place.
You never know. Everton,
anybody turns up against United,
and it's an away match for you.
Yeah, bad at Goodison Park, and we usually don't do well at Goodison, dog. So hey, for me, my hopes are not too high, dog. For me, Man United, dog, there's still a lot that needs to change within the organization itself, structurally mostly. Until we sort that stuff out, I'll never ever have high expectations. But yeah, sizobona club yami at the end of the day, njengawe sihle any Chiefs club yakho uyayifavor, uyayibukela. It is what it is. Yeah, but if you modise, I also driving. But my baby Man U Chiefs at the same time.
Heart palpitation.
You didn't have to take
hypertension.
Plus, we didn't favor them Proteas. So who did the worst?
Actually, X before you violate, there's a link I shared. Did I share in the chat?
Right now.
Earlier on.
Which one?
Okay, I'll find it. You guys keep on talking. I'll find it.
Yeah, because the one you shared is the Messi one where he's just destroying guys.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. Let me look for it. And this is not related to soccer or any. Yeah, it's not related to soccer.
Yeah,
I found it. It's the funniest thing that you'll ever see. Yeah, that's my new in thing now. So I'm retiring it soon, so I need to play golf. I've just shared it now. You can open it. It's safe to open.
All right. I'm waiting for it to appear.
I'm saying F1, man.
We enjoy golf now.
F1.
F1. Yeah, they were very fortunate to pull through the success here in Las Vegas. I didn't see it succeeding. So this is
a nice circuit.
Great.
It's a new circuit. I get it, but it was interesting, not for the right reasons. I think a lot of people watched it just to see. There we go.
Yeah.
Maximize. Hey, watch this. Watch this shit.
But I can...
I saw this.
I know, man. He's even laughing. Apparently the Australian team are taking too long to come up to the it serves them right, man. Serves them right. How do you win all your games and lose in the final? Yo, that's like the biggest choke ever.
Trophy, but it's okay. Celebrate time. Switch off the lights when you guys are done, and then they lift.
I know. I know, but anyway, let's call it. Nami Petram Seleapena the laptop.
I know what it is.
Yeah,
we will. Are we playing this weekend? Is it this weekend or? Yeah, 26. Yeah, it's this weekend.
Yeah, it's this weekend at least. Football will be back.
Liverpool.
We're playing in Liverpool. Yeah, at Anfield.
But Liverpool every time in Liverpool they come back from what's this thing called international break. They struggle. So hopefully Jackson.
Yeah. No.
Salah home so.
Yeah, and of course, hopefully Haaland is fit because I saw we are Kawate.
Yeah.
Another major tournament he's not going to be able to attend at the Euros.
Now dialing country, no way. Yeah, well, even these South American teams would beat Norway, man. Abo Caicedo, banga win again. Yeah. But anyway, thanks. Thank you so much, Never for availing yourselves. Much appreciated. As per usual, guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Help a guy out. This is Easy Sport, and we out. Peace.
Kosi.